I'm Marco Hinojosa.
And I'm Frida Acuña. The next 40 minutes is the showcase of work from students in the spring 2025 semester of Borderzine.
We'll be seeing stories from people across the borderland and throughout the entire El Paso region. U.S. Customs and Border Protection is facing many new challenges and has expanded their canine program.
With the new addition of emotional support animals to the program, here's reporter Sofia Sierra with the full details of these canine helpers.
In response to evolving border enforcement challenges, U.S. Customs and Border Protection more than doubled the number of canine teams it deploys. And a key part of that training happens here in El Paso, Texas, home to one of only 2 CBP canine academies in the country, the other residing in Front Royal, Virginia. Established in 1993 at Fort Bliss, the El Paso Academy trains dogs to detect narcotics and concealed humans. Some are now trained for search and rescue missions. Other dogs will serve as therapy animals for CVP personnel as a part of the new Canine Support Program. CVP's investments in canines has grown even as migrant encounter numbers have declined 9% from 2023 to 2024. The agency says the dogs are still needed for more precise detection and humanitarian support capabilities.
Whether it be a decrease in apprehensions, our job is still the same. Our dogs are being used 100% of the time. Whether it be apprehensions or not, we still have an increase on dogs being able to find concealed humans or even controlled substances by that matter.
A Newsweek analysis of federal procurement data showed the Department of Homeland Security more than doubled its spending on dog providers in early 2024. The CBP contracts with a variety of vendors in the U.S.
We actually have a selection process where we do a selection test on all canines that are presented by vendors. As long as that dog has the necessary critical drives that we need and pass the selection test, we will be able to train them.
About 60 dogs were expected to graduate from the program this spring. CBP currently trains breeds such as German Shepherd, Belgian Malinois, and Labrador Retrievers. The expansion has raised questions from migrant advocacy groups who claim the dogs are used for intimidation, and animal welfare groups worry about the condition these dogs face on the job. But Lopez says humane care is a top priority.
We are pro-dog, 100%. We actually use our dogs to rescue people. People that are concealing themselves in a vehicle, let's say, that probably have been in that vehicle concealed for 3-4 hours. These dogs are trained to find those people and rescue those people. But no way or shape or form do we use these dogs as weapons.
Beyond their nose for detection, these dogs build powerful bonds with their handlers, serving as partners on the front lines of national security. For CVP, a dog's value isn't just in what it could find, but who it could help save. Reporting for Borderzine, I'm Sofia Sierra.
Scams are not new, but now they are taking many more formats, and federal officials want Borderland residents alerted. Sofia Perez spoke to authorities and has more details on how you can protect yourself.
El Paso has become a target for scammers preying on unsuspecting victims. Federal officials say with the rise of digital fraud, impersonation schemes, and deceptive business practices, residents on both sides of the U.S.-Mexico border are facing financial and emotional distress at an alarming rate.
There's a vast amount of scams going on right now, and the scams or the criminals are largely focusing on innocent individuals, people that are going through very difficult things.
Authorities like the Better Business Bureau warn that one of the most common scams reported in El Paso involves phone calls from individuals impersonating government officials, demanding immediate payments or personal information.
Do your homework. Never click on a link that looks suspicious. Whatever it is, by way of a GoFundMe, a toll tag, a bank account, or a purchase that you're not familiar with, always do your research independently.
There are specific age groups that scammers aim for because they are seen as vulnerable. Some of them are elderly, others are kids that use electronics, and people who are going through a tough time.
And so the criminals are exploiting these vulnerable people to exploit them through different scams by way of text, emails, and honestly just using social media. So the criminals are looking for opportunities and essentially looking for innocent victims so that they can exploit their tragedy.
Experts suggest several precautionary measures to avoid falling victims to scams. Never provide personal information over the phone or email. Research any business or individual before making financial transactions. If you or someone you know have been victims of a scam, report it immediately to the Better Business Bureau or law enforcement at www.ic3.gov. Reporting for Borderzine, Sofia Perez.
Have you ever seen someone that's distracted while driving? If you think it happens a lot, you're right. The Texas Department of Transportation is working to change that. Borderzine Sergio Perez has the details.
Distracted driving is a serious issue in Texas. It takes many forms, from texting to using navigation apps, and put lives at risk every day. In 2024, distracted driving caused 91,000 crashes in Texas. Tragically, more than 2,500 people suffered serious injuries, and 373 lost their lives. Young drivers were involved in the highest number of crashes. The Texas Department of Transportation made a stop at UTEP to drive the message home for students. Attendees had the opportunity to hear from Stephanie Carvajal Atilano, who shared valuable insights and information about the ongoing issue of distracted driving.
We are informing students on the dangers of driving distracted. We have a driving simulator that simulates being distracted. The screen will go black, and within that time frame they could hit somebody or crash into an object. We also have our Texas state map, distracted driving, where students are able to drive mini carts and wear glasses that will black out to simulate being distracted on the road as well. Distracted driving continues to be a major issue across the state, especially with their 16 to 24-year-olds. That's why this campaign is so important, to provide information to the community on why nobody should be driving distracted. Now, when we talk about distraction, a lot of people think that it's just the cell phone. Everybody sees the cell phone out when we're driving. However, it could also be drinking, eating, having a conversation with somebody can also distract you and keep your eyes off the road. So that's why it's so important to be sure that you're ready to go when you get behind the wheel and not have any of those distractions.
We spoke with UTEP nursing student Carla Primal about her experience using the driving simulator.
It was great. Like when I first walked in at the unit, I saw the screen and I thought like it's a fun thing to do. So I just came out and gave it a try. And after trying it, I think it was a fun experience for me. When I received a text or a call, the glasses went blank, so I couldn't see the road. So I was like going out of the road to the pavement, and I crashed out myself. So I learned that if you text while driving or use your phone while driving, you're gonna crash someone or you are gonna crash yourself.
Distracted driving is entirely preventable, but even in a moment of diversion can have a life-altering consequences. Text.message is simple: stay focused and put the phone away. A single distraction could lead to a $200 fine of a devastating accident. Keeping your eyes on the road is the best way to stay safe. I am Sergio Perez, reporting for Borderzine.
What is UTEP's Borderzine? It is an innovative journalism education initiative and online publishing platform. The program prepares journalists for jobs in the 21st century news media. Based in the El Paso Juarez border, Borderzine brings a bicultural lens to the stories that shape the region's community. Students have the opportunity for hands-on training as they gain the skills to thrive in today's news media. Learn more about reporting across fronteras at borderzine.com.
Our teachers in the Socorro district are facing a tough time not knowing the future of their job position. Sofia Sierra presents this polemic case.
Music has been a part of Inti and Tenoch Lopez's life since their father Fabio played it for them since they were in the womb. The brothers cultivated their musical skills through classes and training in Socorro ISD. Now, Inti Lopez is a part of a guitar class at Eastlake High School, and Tenoch Lopez plays in the Desert Wind Middle School band. But outside their home, that opportunity may be fading for younger students in the district. The SISD district will be cutting certified fine arts teaching positions in most of its elementary schools next fall as a budget-saving measure. In February, the SISD school board faced a packed house when addressing how to deal with a $38 million budget deficit. 300 staff positions were eliminated district-wide, including certified elementary fine arts teachers. Educators and members of the public spoke against diminishing the fine arts program in elementary schools.
Terminating teachers and cutting programs that enrich the lives of students should be the absolute last resort, as that would significantly and negatively impact student education.
The district offered few details on what it called a redesigned fine arts curriculum, shifting it into the hands of general classroom teachers.
So we're still required to teach it, and we want to work to see how we can support our regular ed teachers to continue to address our text essential knowledge and skills.
But longtime educators like Cheryl Tomzik say that approach misses the mark. The retired SISD music teacher and administrator says students need specialized arts educators.
Foundation core is your math and your science and your English and your geography, history, social studies. It's called enrichment core. That's what our classes are called. That's what band and piano and choir and orchestra, art, dance. It is cultural, it's historical. And so what we do, it enhances what they do. That's why we're enrichment. We enrich what the foundation core subjects are.
A 2021 report by the American Academy of Arts warned about under-resourced arts education. The Art for Life's Sake report cited studies that showed the arts help develop a student's community engagement and emotional and career skills. Researchers also say there's a link between a student's stronger language development and comprehension for those who play music.
With early childhood and for kindergarten, it's about movement and it's about fun and all that. But they also get an idea, and here's the recorder. This is how they start getting dexterity.
The district's plan will keep certified fine arts teachers only at 2 elementary schools that are designated as STEAM campuses. Students like Inti Lopez know the future of music education in their community is uncertain, but that's not deterring his dream to be a music teacher one day.
I feel like it's important for me to stick to it because at the end it's what I want, it's what I want my life to be with. I want to spend my whole life teaching music because it's something I enjoy a lot.
This is Sofia Sierra reporting for Borderzine.com.
Thank you, Sophia. Definitely something to look out for. We'll definitely keep a look at it. Frida Marco, back to you.
No one likes to see litter, especially near parks or play areas.
One new local nonprofit is taking up a task one cleanup at a time.
Many El Paso organizations are all about giving back to the community. Sun City Pickers, one of the Borderland's latest organizations, focuses on sprucing up the city. Sun City Pickers president Daniel DeLuca moved to the 915 from Tampa, Florida in 2023.
When I got here, I could feel that sense of community. So I kind of figured, this would probably be the best place to do something like this with a community-oriented nonprofit group.
The organization shares their monthly schedule for litter pickups via Instagram. Volunteers and members of the Sun City Pickers Board spend an hour collecting trash in parks across the city. DeLuca started Sun City Pickers in July of 2024 and shared that the organization has been growing steadily since its first mission. Yet the community cleanup crew didn't initially start with a huge turnout.
We all just kind of got together and kind of figured, why not make a nonprofit? It's good to bring the community together. It's something that's sorely needed in El Paso.
In April, volunteers gathered at Cedar Grove Park on Balsam Drive. Among them, volunteer Alma Delia Villegas, who joined the group in January.
And ever since I started, I felt so welcome with the group. We just connected. We were all here doing something for our giving back to our community.
That day, members of a local youth soccer team spontaneously joined the effort, a moment that stood out to DeLuca.
Honestly, that's the first time that we've had someone or a group of people in this case just come off from whatever they're doing and come to help us. It's what we want. We want people to come together. Makes me very happy to see that, there's even the younger generation that wants to come out and help us. It's really good to see.
Sun City Pickers' mission isn't just about one day's work. It's about fostering long-term environmental responsibility.
If we can just have people have that in the back of their mind to be conscious of what they're buying, what they may be disposing of, how they're disposing of it, just keeping all those things in mind really makes sure that we're cutting down on pollution.
I'd love to give back to my community. I love El Paso. Born and raised here, and I want to give back to my community.
For more information on upcoming volunteer events, visit Sun City Pickers on Instagram and their website. Reporting for Borderzine, I'm Marco Hinojosa.
Next, Sofia Perez had the opportunity to speak with Tadeo Gonzalez, a boy diagnosed with sarcoma cancer, in his moments of triumph.
Aguantándome el dolor, aguantando.
This is how 8-year-old Tadeo Gonzalez, diagnosed with sarcoma cancer, has been overcoming the pain, staying confident that everything will be okay.
Hemos estado en tratamientos desde diciembre del 2023. Ahorita sigue en tratamiento todavía en su segunda etapa, en su etapa de estamos en mantenimiento.
Tadeo had a dream of running for king of the Candlelighters organization, something he couldn't do in 2024 due to being hospitalized, but changed this year.
Me alegro mucho porque ya no tengo que estar en el hospital, porque me daban quimos y unas veces me caían mal.
This year, Tadeo with his family raised funds with events such as raffles to participate in this contest.
Yo quiero ser el rey para ayudar a otros niños para que les puedan estar en otras actividades.
Tadeo was happy to raise money to help other children in their cancer journey. And though he placed second, he sends a message to the other cancer warriors.
Que le echen ganas porque si no le echan, si no le echan, van a ganar también.
Tadeo's family says they are very proud of their little boy and his efforts to help other children suffering from the same disease.
No como nosotros también siempre lo oíamos en el radio, lo mirábamos en la tele, comerciales, pero nunca se imagina estar en esos zapatos y es una noticia que nadie espera y en verdad nadie está preparado.
Reporting Sofia Perez for Borderzine.
That was Sophia Reporters reporting. When we come back, we'll take a look at Gen Z and the job market in action, both in careers and through social media. And chickens, stay tuned.
Are you interested in a career in newscasting, producing, or multimedia work? Then the Multimedia Journalism program at the University of Texas at El Paso is the perfect destination for you and your goals. The Multimedia Journalism program provides students with real-world hands-on experiences that they will use for their future careers. Training in reporting, investigative journalism, video editing, and much more can be gained with a student's time at UTEP. For more information about the program and degree plan, those interested can visit utep.edu. Go Miners!
Local influencers are closing the gap between businesses and their audience. Online personalities have helped businesses take a new spin on marketing, both flourishing and broadening their audiences.
Here at Uptown Cheapskate on a $50 budget, come check this out.
Influencer marketing has become a growing trend in major markets worldwide, with an estimated $21 billion market value in 2023 according to Forbes, and El Paso is no exception. Local influencers are helping businesses and entrepreneurs build stronger connections with their communities while growing their own personal brands.
It's literally somebody going to somewhere, trying out the service, restaurant, food, shopping, whatever it is. And I think that by introducing influencer marketing to a local business and them using it versus just using traditional marketing, I think it sets them apart because it shows like the community like in their business. And I guess it's an easier way for people to see themselves going to these places.
For many influencers, this business model not only helps promote local companies, but it also opens doors to bigger opportunities. Local influencer Brian Keel says growing his platform is a gateway to starting his own clothing brand.
I just want to make it, make it a full-time job, a full-time career. And I also want to eventually, in the future, have my own Western clothing line. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm trying to grow my audience and, on all my platforms, because that's the main goal for me.
But the path to success isn't without its challenges. Local influencer Antonio Lopez says that confidence and the willingness to take risks are key to entering this competitive space.
Being able to have some self-love and be confident is just going to make things easier. I'm sure people have tough lives just as everyone has, there's tougher lives than others, and it's okay. But as long as you have confidence in yourself to want to do something, it could be video, it could be dance, it could be whatever it is, just go for it. Don't be scared. Take that risk. Doesn't work, try something else. And as long as you keep doing it and taking the action, then everything's good.
Reporting for Borderzine, this is Mara Gaitan.
Each influencer echoes that confidence is key to being successful. To see more information of the local faces filling your social media feed, visit Borderzine.com. Here's Luis talking to us about Gen Z jobs.
For those Gen Zers who don't profit within clicks or views, what else lies within the job market for young adults? I looked for where the future takes Gen Zers.
A new report is providing fresh insight into expectations and challenges facing Gen Z as they enter the workforce, especially here in the Borderland. The study conducted by the Bridgify Group in partnership with Workforce Solutions Borderplex and the City of El Paso focuses on young workers from our region. Generation Z, those born between 1997 and 2012, is set to make up nearly 1/3 of the U.S. workforce by 2030. Young workers who proactively develop their skills and seek out opportunities will have the best chance of thriving in a rapidly changing job market, the researchers say. That's what led UTEP computer science student Michael Washington to a recent job fair on campus.
I'd say personally it's pretty difficult. The economy plays a big role in it, especially in my major. It's very up and down. But overall, I think it's doable. It's not impossible, and events like this really help out.
Layla Melendez, CEO of Workforce Solutions Borderplex, says the study offers ideas and what young job seekers and potential employers need to understand about each other.
And that's what I want other businesses to see, is grow them from within and adapt them to your culture and the values that you have as your business.
In El Paso, the study highlights distinct generational and cultural dynamics, with 66% of Hispanic respondents reporting that family plays a major role in their career decisions. Also, 52% of Hispanic participants prioritized opportunities for career growth, while non-Hispanics emphasize tech savviness at a higher rate.
Important, and their strategies on how to really become an organization that can recruit Gen Zs, but there's also a certain mindset from the employer that needs to happen to ensure that the Gen Z feels part of the family, part of the team, and stays engaged.
The report encourages employers to respond by offering more flexible schedules, culturally inclusive workplaces, and a welcoming environment that can help bridge generational divides. It also notes the importance of mental health resources and sustainability programs, which align closely with Gen Z values. Delgado says employers can benefit from what Gen Z brings to the modern workplace.
I always tell people the Gen Z generation, if you don't have one on your team, you need to get one on your team, because the perspective is so global, it's so technological, and it is so intricate that you're missing out on a perspective that is not part of your conversations.
But the study also points to areas where Gen Z workers, especially recent grads, may need support, including communication skills, workplace etiquette, and taking initiative. Employers also reported challenges with engagement and professional adaptability.
So if you all want to be prepared to come out of high school and college to get a job, you have to understand, what does the current workforce in its traditional manner value? And can I adapt those values a little bit to myself?
The report's findings were recently shared with El Paso businesses and community leaders during a town hall meeting. Organizers hope the conversation continues so employers and young workers alike can better understand the strengths and expectations each brings to the table. Luis Garcia for Borderzine.com.
Gen Z's edge includes a drive, personality, and tech savviness that can bring about a new attitude to the young workforce. And now to Christian with Barber's Craft.
A barber's craft is not the same from what it was 20 years ago. In El Paso, the barbershop has always been more than just a place to get a haircut. It's a cultural staple, a community hub, and a reflection of changing times. Today, barbering in the Borderland is being redefined by a new generation, while some still hold tight to its traditional roots. El Pipo's barbershop stands as a tribute to the old-school barber tradition. Fernando Morales, a barber at El Pipo's, says their focus is on keeping it simple, classic haircuts, beard trims, and straight razor shaves.
We try not to go into like coloring, which is more of a trend that you're seeing now in barbershops where they do colors. Basically what everybody else is like in the community is kind of doing, try to keep on the lower side, just because we want to try to get people in here. We don't want to go too high, and then people are gonna come in and be like, nah. Even with the $20 that we charge now, people come in and they're like, yeah, it's a little too pricey, and we're like, we're probably the cheaper ones in this whole area.
Like many in the industry, barbers are feeling the pressure of inflation.
Prices right now with everything is high. Even us, we struggle to keep it this low just because we still gotta pay stuff ourselves.
Just across town, shops like Trendsetters are embracing the future of barbering. Here the vibe is faster, more style forward. Services include designs and even perms, meeting the demands for a younger clientele. Sergio Meraz at Trendsetters says his prices have evolved with his experience and rising costs.
Really, it's just based off of how long I've been cutting hair and I guess how efficient I am at cutting hair. I'm not a barber that raises my prices often, but I do just go based off inflation. I started at $20 8 years ago, and fast forward 8 years, I'm charging $35, $45 for a haircut. For the most part, we're upbeat. We're always playing music. We're always, laughing, joking. So that's kind of the vibe. You have to have that vibe in a barbershop.
As El Paso grows and styles evolve, so does the barber community. Whether it's with clippers and conversation in a quiet corner shop, or bold styles and high energy at a modern barbershop, barbering continues to shape identity, confidence, and culture in the Borderland. Reporting for Borderzine, I'm Christian Garza. Prices at barbershops can vary depending on where you go. Some people believe that the hiking prices are unbelievable. Frida and Marco, back to you.
In early 2025, avian influenza, bird flu, gave quite the scare to many El Pasoans' shopping lists. Reporter Joseph Montero sheds light on the food crisis and how a backyard farmer has dealt with it.
At the end of 2022, egg prices rose to a record high in the United States of around $5.29 a dozen. However, in early 2025, egg prices surpassed it with a new high of $8.17, with even stores such as Costco now selling chicken coops, egging on customers to raise their own fowls.
El Paso backyard farmer Danny Moreno began to raise chickens 2 years ago, leaving him with a good supply of eggs and no worry about the rising costs in stores. Avian influenza, better known as bird flu, combined with general inflation has hurt wallets nationwide. Since first detected in U.S. poultry in 2022, bird flu has killed millions of chickens and continues to threaten flocks. Meanwhile, inflation contributes to higher costs of materials that go into the production of eggs, such as bird feed, transportation, and even packaging, according to the American Farm Bureau Federation.
So, should El Pasoans just skip the grocery run altogether and raise their own chickens? Well, Moreno believes it isn't for everyone, especially with his concerns of bird flu.
So obviously the bird flu was a concern for me. I did worry that my hens would get sick. As far as the egg shortage, I'm not worried about it either. I always have eggs for me and my family, but also for those in my community. I always try to provide some for them.
But raising chickens is no walk in the park though, as there are many responsibilities and technicalities that come with it. As per state law, citizens in a county area have no restrictions on the fowl they keep in their backyard, but within city limits, a permit is required to own fowl. But there is so much more that comes with the responsibility.
You first have to have the space in your backyard, and living here in the city limits, it's constrained, and you really can't have that many. The initial investment in a chicken coop or a chicken run, depending on the size of your backyard, you need to think about that, the type of enclosure that you want to have them in.
While the egg supply is great, the commitment requires dedication.
Considering the cost, the space, as I mentioned before, they do require a lot of care. I think it's easy to think that if you have hens, you'll get the eggs, but there's so many other variables involved. And I think it takes that special calling for someone to be able to take care of the hens.
So, for many El Pasoans still worried about eggs, thinking they have an easy solution by raising their own chickens, they might want to take a second look. Reporting for Borderzine, I'm Joseph Montero.
When we come back from the break, we'll be taking a look at El Paso communities through rock climbing, women's fitness, and ending with authentic chocolate making.
Did you know? The buildings at UTEP are inspired by the architecture of the Kingdom of Bhutan. The style was adopted after the wife of the first dean of the university saw a National Geographic article in 1914.
For our next story, Joseph Montero dives deep into the rock climbing community.
Whether it's on nature's playground or indoors, the popularity of rock climbing has seen rapid growth. However, in more recent years, the popularity has shifted from authentic climbing to indoor climbing gyms. After its maiden year as an Olympic sport in the 2021 Tokyo Olympic Games, rock climbing has seen a surge in its community, and whether it's veteran climbers or beginners, this trend is visible through indoor climbing gyms, and this certain type of climbing has made its way to the Borderland. Nick Diaz, a local rock climber, still remembers El Paso's indoor climbing infancy.
I'm from Las Cruces. I was born and raised there and started climbing there like 2013, 2014-ish. And so I remember when El Paso had no indoor climbing. And I remember when the cave, when our other gym opened, and I remember there not being anything like this and just wishing that we had something like this.
Opened in 2016, cave climbing paved the way for indoor rock climbing in El Paso. Following in its footsteps, a second gym, Sessions Climbing and Fitness, was opened in the summer of 2022. Owner of Sessions Climbing and Fitness, Albert Alvarez, wanted to bring his love of rock climbing to the Sun City.
I started climbing when I was in college a long time ago, and it changed my life. It redefined who I was. And when I came back home, when I moved back to El Paso, I knew that I wanted to share my passion with the community, with my hometown, something that gave me confidence, taught me about life, taught me about failure, taught me about, adversity and challenges and how to overcome them. And with all those benefits, I thought, why wouldn't I bring that to my community? Why wouldn't I bring that to my hometown?
What started out as a small group of people in the Borderland has now expanded into an ever-growing community. And with this community's positivity and encouragement towards one another, the growth has no sign of stopping.
I'll tell you, when we moved here, my wife and I moved here a little over 20 years ago, and we knew all the climbers and we could count them on one hand, right? And now we've got this massive community, we've got this beautiful gym, just everyone is so friendly and willing to help each other. Yeah, it's a great community, and it's becoming better and better.
With the climbing community so inviting, anyone in El Paso can grab a pair of climbing shoes, some chalk, and be supported on their climb to the top. Reporting for Borderzine, this is Joseph V. Montero.
For more information on rock climbing and indoor rock climbing locations, you can check out the web story on Borderzine.com.
As for other ways to stay active and be a part of a community in the Sun City, Ashley Pugh showcases a group of women bringing free health classes to El Paso.
In the heart of the Borderland's thriving fitness scene, a vibrant wave of female-led wellness groups is redefining how women approach exercise. Many women are ditching the gym for sunrise runs, yoga, and Pilates in the park. These aren't your standard fitness classes. They're part of a growing collective focused on strengthening both bodies and communities while providing a unique opportunity to network. The best part? They're free and accessible to everyone with donations welcome.
So I wanted to bring Pilates to the community and just make it more accessible. Pilates right now is something that's very trendy and but also can be very expensive. So my main goal was just to bring it to the community, introduce it to people, and yeah, just donation-based, free. Just want to get everybody out here moving.
The focus is on collaboration rather than competition, making it easier for women to feel comfortable, motivated, and confident in their fitness journeys. The all-girl running club, Girls Run the 915, welcomes all paces. Fitness enthusiast Naomi Zemensky enjoys a group run because it makes her push herself further versus running alone.
I encourage everybody to run if you guys feel intimidated, maybe a smaller group, but overall all the women are so encouraging and everybody's willing to tell us to keep going. So if you guys are intimidated, this would be the first step into a running journey.
This movement has created a safe space for newcomers who are eager to begin their fitness journey. In this supportive environment, they can explore new activities with confidence. Women interested in joining these groups can find more information at Instagram.com under @GirlsRunThe915, @Marisol.C.Jameson, and @NoraEstefania.Pilates. Reporting for Borderzine, I'm Ashley Pugh.
The club hosts local runs and events that can be found on their social media. For more on Girls Run the 915, read more on Borderzine.com. In the spirits of the Borderland, we'll switch it up to Español y Sergio Pérez nos lleva a conocer el mundo de artista juarense Persia Campbell.
Persia Campbell es una fotógrafa y directora originaria de Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua, que trabajó a lo largo de la frontera entre Estados Unidos y México. Se graduó de la Universidad UACJ con una licenciatura en Artes Visuales, con especialidad en medios digitales y una maestría en procesos creativos en artes y diseño. Su fotografía de significado explora la estética del norte de México. Tuvimos la oportunidad de hablar con ella sobre sus inicios.
Mi hermana mayor entró a diseño gráfico y ella llevó una clase de fotografía análoga, entonces fue algo que me llamó muchísimo la atención. Y a ella no le llamó tanto la atención la fotografía y me regaló la cámara que usó. Y así empecé yo cuando tenía 15 años.
También nos compartió quién fue el artista que la influenció para crear este tipo de arte.
La primera artista fue Cindy Sherman, que cuando estudiaba artes visuales descubrí que se dedicaba al autorretrato y que tal cual también estudia la figura femenina y me gustó muchísimo lo que ella hacía.
Al vivir en la frontera fue influenciada por los catálogos de decoraciones de Estados Unidos. Sus experiencias personales y familiares en Chihuahua y los viajes a Estados Unidos, así como el intercambio comercial, han inspirado su trabajo.
Como uno que se llamaba Home Interiors, que eran como que muchísimas cositas de cerámica, de plástico, pero con recubrimiento dorado, todo este tipo de cosas que se puede ver, por ejemplo, en la cabecera o ahí en la parte del peinador. De una manera más literal, por así decirlo, esa influencia de la frontera.
Por primera vez, Persia Campbell se presentó en El Paso, Texas, en Region 1, con su exposición Ficheras Relatos del Cabaret. Una recopilación de los estereotipos femeninos a lo largo de la historia de Ciudad Juárez. Una de las figuras principales de esa época es la prohibición del alcohol en Estados Unidos, convirtiendo a Juárez en un centro nocturno similar a Las Vegas, con figuras femeninas llamativas como las ficheras y las mujeres que trabajaban en ese momento. Persia Campbell fue nombrada una de las 100 mujeres fotógrafas latinoamericanas por Vogue, y obtuvo el segundo lugar en el concurso de fotografía organizado por Time Magazine en 2006. Soy Sergio Pérez, reportando para Borderzine.
Descubre más historias como la de Persia Campbell en Borderzine.com. Now let's switch it back to English to dive into the world of chocolate. Here's Luis.
In El Paso, a love story is intertwined with the rich tradition of family chocolate making. Here is Fernando with the story of Nancy and Ricardo.
Chocolate has existed for centuries as something other than a dessert. For this family, it is a way of life, a tradition passed down from generation to generation. Nancy Lopez and Ricardo Cigarroa are a couple in El Paso, Texas, that decided to take on the task of sharing the tradition of handmade chocolate.
It's helped me by understanding who I am. I think a big part of teaching or learning how to make chocolate is being able to learn from yourself. I've always believed it helps us find a sense of identity.
Nancy was raised in Utah, but her family is from Chiapas, Mexico, where she learned the family tradition of handmade chocolate.
Well, I learned from my mom and my grandma. My grandma is the one that has kept this tradition going on. My mom always has a pot of chocolate ready on the stove. So it's very essential. It's a staple. It's allowed me by understanding like who my ancestors are. I feel like that's an important part. Family history is really important to us, and that's helped me like by knowing who they are and what traditions they've kept.
After Ricardo married Nancy, he learned the process and the meaning of chocolate in Nancy's family. Ricardo was excited to participate in the tradition.
She has helped me learn more about traditions. I feel like I was explained to her before she started was that if she could teach them more about their culture, that there's more to it than just what they already know, that they'll be more proud of where they come from.
The couple shares this tradition with others by hosting workshops around the city, where they tell stories about their families and how cacao is a symbol of unity in the community, and by allowing participants to learn and to do the handmade chocolate process.
Because it's supposed to be sharing with people, and that's what we love to do. We love to share that with other people and make sure to teach them about something new that they haven't learned about, that there's more to it than what they believe.
In every bite, a piece of history is shared. Chocolate is not just a treat, it is a way of life, a tradition, and a bond that unites generations.
It comes together to make it all work. And that's something that we need to remember, especially in today. And that's what the chocolate does. That's why we tell people, like, this is your community. We're all working together to make the chocolate. And that's what we love to do, is to make sure that these people learn that it's everybody together.
The sweet taste of tradition, passion, and culture, from both a little bit of love of Chiapas and a lot of love from El Paso.
Thank you for watching Borderzine Presents 2025. You'll find more stories from students on our socials and borderzine.com.
Signing off from Borderzine Spring 2025. A big thank you to our whole crew in the studio. Have a great summer, El Paso.